What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Make an Impact podcast with real stories, real people, and real impact. My name's Stephen Turnbull. I'm an entrepreneur, husband, and father on a mission to empower individuals to share their stories so they can make an impact on you. We have Mary Zimbler in the house today. She is the coordinator at the Country Pantry, serving Clarks Mills, Westmoreland, and Clinton. What a great conversation. Our area is super blessed to have somebody like Mary, I can tell you that. And we learned about everything that's going on at the Country Pantry, the people that they serve, the need that is out there, and more importantly, how to get involved and how you can get involved and help them over there. So let's get on to today's episode with Mary Zimbler. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Make an Impact podcast. Super excited to have a very special guest today, Mary Zimbler today. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Coordinator of the Country Pantry in Clarks Mills. Super excited to have you on. I appreciate my fault. I had to reschedule this a few times, so I appreciate your flexibility.
Not a problem.
And our mutual friend here, Mr. Michael Taft, connected us. And we were just joking and talking about how years ago I volunteered, I think, with Mike and his family.
Yes.
And it all comes back for us full circle here. But I appreciate you taking the time to be with us. How are you today?
I'm fine.
Well,
glad to be here.
Well, we appreciate it. We as we do often is before we start recording, we start talking, and then I'm like, okay, hang on a second. We gotta wait to get all the good stuff in. But for those that are watching, just tell us the story of the Country Pantry from the beginning, and then we can work our way into today. I know we want to talk about a few events that are coming up around it, but how we can help. There's a lot we want to get into. But for somebody that's watching this, it's like, never heard of that. What is it?
The Country Pantry started in the late 70s in the basement of Church of the Annunciation in Clark Mills. Its goal was to furnish people with nutritious food who were facing challenges in life. The volunteers started by serving 7 families that they went out to and delivered to their homes. And over the years, the pantry grew size-wise, took over more rooms in the basement of the church until I was introduced to the pantry in 2010. And at that point, there were 96 families on the roster, and we received food from the Food Bank of Central New York. And the coordinators before me had established a connection with all of the local churches, and there were, at that time, about 12 of them. And they all had church representatives who would relay the messages to the parishioners of what food was needed, what events were going on, what fundraisers. And it's really a wonderful community effort, and it's only grown since that time. More businesses have come on board, and, they might have a worker on their team that is facing a struggle, has a tragedy, and needs support. And the business owners, the priests, the pastors, the schools, social workers call the pantry and see what we can do for the family in need.
And so have you been the coordinator since 2010? Or was that kind of just when you got involved?
Yes, it was 2010, beginning of 2011, yes.
Okay. And what's the service area of the pantry? Is there a specific geographic area?
We serve Clinton, Clark Mills, and Westmoreland. That's our jurisdiction set by the food bank. But there are extenuating circumstances that we do have some families from other places who can't get to a pantry that is closer to them necessarily because of hours, because of schools, when the bus comes, etc. So we do make exceptions, but we try to stick with our service area.
Now, when we started, you said you love talking about yourself, so I'm gonna push you on
He's
that.
lying.
I'm lying and I'm kidding. She said, "I don't want to talk about myself." I said, "You're in the wrong place." 16 years going on now.
Yes.
Am I doing my math correctly, Mike?
About, yep.
Shout out to our math teacher. 16 years now. I've talked to a lot of people, and I've been involved with my business and, helping with some fundraising going on in your organization. But this is the first time I've had the opportunity to sit down with you. And through Mike and anybody else, everybody always says, Mary's just amazing. And the devotion that you put into it and to bring it to where it is today, why is that important for you? Why is it important to keep going? Why is it important to still show up for the organization? Why is it important to give so much time that you do to the organization?
one primary reason is I believe this is what God has called me to do. So my hope and my heart is all in. It doesn't mean that I don't get up on mornings when it's food distribution day and it's only
Sure.
30 degrees that I want to be outside. But once you get into the pantry, parking lot, we have a drive-through distribution now. We're all outside. We don't go in freezing cold weather, but the spirit of the pantry is tangible. And the healing that happens during a distribution or when the volunteers get together for a work team is tangible. It's things happen, positive things happen. Families receive food. Seniors receive comfort for whatever they're looking for. Some families come and they need blankets because heating costs are up and they're lowering their furnace. So that keeps me fueled.
It's got to be the success stories that you've seen over that time, too.
Yes. And also, I find with many of our families, once one bad thing happens, once the car breaks and the bill is over $1,000, the next bad thing seems to be right on the coattails. So
Yeah.
we hang in there for other people, and it's positive.
Right.
It's addressing more than the need of hunger in
Yeah.
our community.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the most powerful things for an organization like this is the community behind it, you know? And so talk to us. I think you alluded to it a little bit in the beginning of how it just started in the basement here and with the churches, and now it's gotten to this, and now we have more businesses involved and all that. But talk to us of the evolution, at least of your time over the last 16 years of being there, of how the community has rallied behind and how much of a difference that's made.
I think there's been specific circumstances that have happened. COVID brought out so much good in people. I mean, reaching out to your neighbor, whether it was through the pantry or not, checking in on each other, the camaraderie between employees not being in the office, and that spilled into the pantry and what we could do to outreach more. We had bus drivers from Westmoreland School District who would come to the pantry and pick up food bags for the families of the children that they normally took to school, and were delivering that food to their houses. So there was more visibility. I did not, but someone started a Facebook page. I don't know how to do Facebook, but Jackie Walters, awesome.
Love Jackie.
It helped. I mean, we have a website, so the word was getting out more. And once it got to the school level, we serve Westmoreland School District and Clinton School District families. And social workers knew, building blocks, Office for the Aging. It's more people got involved, and there is more giving now.
So take us back, if you can, to like 2010 and what's changed over the years specifically. And I think it'd be cool if you can share, like, how do you do what you do? Like, behind the curtain, what does it look like from, like, what is a distribution day? How does that look like? How do you get the food? How can people help in that regard to allow you guys to do what you're able to do?
We have donation boxes at various businesses in Clinton and Westmoreland. Hunt Realty, the Kirkland Library, Thriftish, NBT Bank in Clinton, and the churches, all of the local churches. And Stewart Brooks Insurance, State Farm Insurance on Route 233. And people know these places from Facebook, from our website, from emails I send out, and they donate food, and then the food is taken to the pantry. Church of the Annunciation, we also have a donation bin outside the church, and we collect food over the month, but the majority of our food is coming from the Food Bank of Central New York and Syracuse. It is not free. People think that we receive a tractor trailer full of food and we pay nothing for that. I write grants regularly, to different businesses and organizations, Community Foundation,
So your, I want to dive into that. That's interesting. So your entity is purchasing, the Country Pantry is purchasing the food from, what was it again, in Syracuse?
Food Bank of Central New York in
Gotcha.
Syracuse.
Okay.
There are food banks right across America.
Yeah.
They are sponsored in under Feeding America.
Gotcha.
So we do receive some free food from the food bank.
Yep.
It's USDA food where Feeding America will go out to farmers and say, can you grow 2 acres of corn, or it's much more than that.
Yeah, right.
And we will pay you an amount of money,
Mm-hmm.
but that food gets then processed and goes to our food banks.
Mm-hmm.
So on any given day, I have a menu that has 8 pages on it that I order off of. I can order 24 cans of corn for about $17 compared to going to a grocery store.
Right.
Some months I'll get corn that's free. Peanut butter that's USDA free. But many of the items I use grant money, HIPNAP, which is the New York State and federal government money that I write grants for and receive grant money for. That grant money goes to the food bank and I draw off of it during the year. So the other organization, United Way, also helps fund the pantry, Community Foundation, Indium Corporation, our churches. There is a lot that goes into a day at the pantry.
I love that you painted that picture, because I think for people that are listening to this, could think, well, you're just distributing the food and you get it from source A and give it to source B. And that is so powerful to take us behind and say, no, this is what we have to do to get it at this price, to get enough, and then make sure that it goes into the right hands and the hands that are in need. I mean, I want to get into that, because I want to talk at the end of this kind of like, hey, how can we help? And I want to get back to that. Talk to us about the distribution days. I mean, who helps get that stuff out? How does that look? We were talking a little bit about how you guys got the process down to a science now. We got walkie-talkies now.
Yes, we do. They don't have them yet. But
They're
in
coming.
February,
The
they're going to get their
walkie-talkies are coming.
walkie-talkies. Yes.
We're training on them,
Yes.
but you're going to get them. But talk to us about that, because I think that goes into more of, it's not just somebody knocks on the door and says, I need some food, and we're handing it over. You guys got a whole process around this. Talk to us about that.
We do have both things happen. This morning, I was at the pantry. The phone rang twice. One gal, an older woman, is having surgery in February and is afraid she's going to miss the distribution date. So we have people that come daily. I have another gentleman who we're meeting at a different time. That happens almost every day.
Wow.
We got a call from the school district today for a family of 3 in need. So there's a lot of communication. But our large
Are you doing all that communication?
Yes.
Wow.
Our large distribution happens once a month, sometimes twice, depending on, during COVID, people needed food more regularly, and we were able to do it because more was available. Right now, we're doing one distribution a month, and there are smaller distributions where we'll put food in the front of the church parking lot. We send out what I call is a robocall, which has over 800 families on it, and it sends out a text and a phone call to everyone that has signed up and wants to receive notifications. The notification will say the Country Pantry has 20 cases of chicken and 4 cases of this and whatever, and if you'd like to come, first serve. So people have things between large distributions.
Gotcha.
Large distributions days right now are coordinated based on the weather and how much food I can get between donations that come in and from the food bank. We normally have one tractor trailer come in the morning of distribution. It's unloaded by our forklift, put under a 20 by 40 tent, and another tent that's 10 by 20. And we form 2 lines of traffic. Each lane has the same food, but a family will drive through and will put food into their trunk. We have between 30 and 40 volunteers that are contacted about a week and a half before distribution. Everybody comes, everyone knows what they're doing. If we have new volunteers, we meet with them and buddy them up with another volunteer.
So you don't give the new volunteers walkie-talkies?
No. The walkie-talkies, we have a new parking system. We don't park in the road anymore, and we continue to apologize to the people in Clark Mills for being so patient with the pantry and the people having to be off the road but not on their grass. It was hard.
Well, they're
It's
growing
hard for
pains,
them.
right? I mean, it's good.
And there's not easy fixes to things like that.
Yeah.
But the American Legion was willing to open their parking lot to us. Clark Mills
great.
Fire Department, awesome, allow us to use side of their parking lot, and the Annunciation Church Rectory parking lot can fill up at 9 o'clock the morning of distribution. And then we have traffic authorities that release cars as they're called to, that so we can get them right into the parking lot where the tent is, where the food tent is. So
can you paint a picture for people that are listening and learning about this for the first time of just some of the consumers that you're helping? I'm assuming, I think we talked about this a little bit before we recorded, that there may be some that are repeat, there may be some that are just down in their luck with that $1,000 car bill that we talked about, just to paint a picture of for the people that are interested in helping or learning more of just who they're helping with their work, their donation, whatever it is.
We have a good number of seniors that are our cornerstone of Clinton, that have been there their whole life. They're teachers and moms, and they're older. They want to hold on to their car, and they want to be able to pay their insurance and their rent. And some of them do not have children that they raised living in the area, so they're kind of on their own now. So we make sure we take care of them. We have a lot of food that goes out other than distribution day to a few apartment buildings to make sure they're covered. Some can't get out because they're homebound. We have the typical American families, and this is something that I learned the hard way when I started. There is no difference between me and thee.
Powerful.
Yeah. It was an eye-opener for me. I mean, I was raised near the General Electric in Schenectady when all the layoffs were going on when I was really young, elementary school aged. And seeing that again, that feeling, my mom, this is kind of off topic a little bit, but my mom used to make pots of spaghetti sauce and meatballs and sausage and have pounds of macaroni, dry macaroni, and people would come to the door and get that. And it always has stayed with me.
Oh, that's incredible.
So we have typical families, and Dad's hours got decreased. COVID is a good explanation of the kinds of clients we have. People lose hours at work. Mom or Dad, unfortunately, get diagnosed with something that takes them not necessarily to Wynn Hospital area or Utica area, but out of town to get treatments. Then they're dealing with gas bills, loss of work, coverage for the children after they get home from school. So all of that plays into a lot of the reasons we have the families we have. I call them our medical families. It's just cancer hits, or they're taking care of grandma and grandpa.
Right.
And there's extra food needed and extra everything needed.
Right.
So,
So I'm going to ask a question, but I have a different question that's going to go into that. Okay. So the question that I want to get to is just how can we help? But the question before that, if you had a magic wand and could change something or get something for the pantry tomorrow, what would that be? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
A building.
I love that. Talk to me more about that.
We very grateful. We have been at Church of the Annunciation from the inception of the pantry. They are gracious. We have not paid rent. We have not paid an electric bill.
Wow, how great.
It's phenomenal. And we've had to move out of the basement. We still have some freezers down there, but we've had to move out because we can't if we get 40,000 pounds of food in from the food bank in any given day, we can't carry it downstairs and then carry it back upstairs to get into people's cars. So we asked the father who was at the church several years ago if we could use the garage. So we have been operating out of the garage. We had it spray foamed, but it's a garage.
Yeah.
So, but the church currently received a new priest. He's young and innovative and has a ton of energy. And in sitting and talking with him, we talked about the use of the old Catholic school, which is behind the church. And we are now using the first 2 classrooms, which is a godsend because we can get food in advance. It's in temperature control. The volunteers can work in a more comfortable environment than the garage. Ultimately, if we keep growing, it would be awesome to be in one building with 3 garage doors
Yeah.
and a couple of forklifts.
And a little heat.
And some heat.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Just some.
Not a lot. 62. 62.
60 is
All right, 60.
60 is good,
Perfect.
but 62 we'll take. So, yes.
Talk to me. You just mentioned something about the need. And I'm just, talk to us about, I think, did you say 95 families when you first started or
96,
when?
yep.
Okay, 96. So that was 2010?
Yeah.
Okay. And so if you can help us understand where we're at now and how much more we can do is in regards to the need.
We saw during COVID, we went up to 1,640 families a month. We were normally between 900 and 1,100.
Families?
Families.
A
yes.
month.
We used to have tractor trailers that would come and park overnight in Annunciation parking lot. The men would sleep in the trailer. We would wake them in the morning, and they would open the truck for us with the food in
Wow.
it. Yeah. We didn't always have tractor trailers from the food bank, not any fault of theirs, but when there was people out with COVID, truck drivers with COVID, and so many pantries to service in our jurisdiction from Central New York, we sought our own tractor trailers. We still do have a wonderful relationship with Ryan Sunderland. He's with Casa
Imports?
Carlo Massi, excuse me. And when I need a tractor trailer to go to the food bank, he's the first person I call, and he's awesome. So he can get a tractor trailer for us. One of the harder things we went through equal to COVID was the tornado. It happened the end of June, and it was the hard-hit area where people sadly lost their lives. It's just 2 blocks down from the pantry. So we had a huge increase of people for that time, and Salvation Army, we're affiliated with them. We're a big help. Hamilton College, Town and Gown are just the backbone in coming through and helping us to provide funds to meet the needs. So this month, so far, we're at 584 families. There won't be many more in before February 1st, but...
So what do you mean? Talk to us about what you mean in. So how do they apply, fill out a form? How does it look like if we're unsure on the numbers for months? How does it look like to get the services?
If people find out about us on the computer, there's a form on our website that they can send me an email, and it says, can you add me to your call list? Or my name is Sally Smith, and I have 4 kids, and my husband's lost his job. Can you explain to me what the pantry is and how you can help? And so we get transmissions like that often, almost every day.
Wow.
And so I call them, we talk, we email. I tell them when the next distribution is. And usually from school districts, I know they're in our jurisdiction. I do receive contacts from people outside, and I can refer them to their home pantry There's a lot of pantries in Utica, Canastota, all around.
Gotcha.
So then they come to the pantry. Sometimes we ask for their license to verify, especially if they're new to us. But I find that the people that do contact us that may not be in Clinton, Clark Mills, Westmoreland are there for a specific reason. There's a reason why they've come to us and they need the help.
Yeah.
So, and it's food. Everybody needs it. You're not qualifying for something special.
Right.
And I find we get calls from moms, don't know what they're going to give their children for breakfast, don't want to have to rely on the school system to feed their child breakfast. Husbands going off to work wondering where the money's going to come for food with the prices being so high. And I do get calls from teachers who say, someone's in their classroom, they've got stomach pains. I don't know what to do, but how can we connect with you with this family? So it's not difficult.
Right.
It's just giving and getting the people together and getting the resources and getting it out there. And it's solving hunger, even if it's very temporary for a 5-day food supply, means hope for a family.
Sure.
It makes such a difference.
Sure. I mean, you paint the picture perfectly of like the $1,000 car bill, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's real things that everybody goes through.
Yes.
The difference is that some people have the means to take care of it and some people don't.
Right.
And I think that and what you just said right there, like a 5-day run off of food can make a complete difference. It can be a reset. It can be something to say that we're good for this week. How do we get next week? Whatever, and go from there. How can we help? How can people that are listening to this, watching this, myself, how can we help immediately, long term, become volunteers? What's the best way to get involved, and what are the ways to get involved?
Volunteering is awesome. If you want to call us, 315-272-5267. You can email us, thecountrypantry@yahoo.com, and I will get back to you. And food-wise, if people want to donate food, you just have to think about what you buy for yourself. You're helping to feed your neighbors. So they may be going through something special and different, but they're like the rest of us. Challenges come up. So if you buy a can of soup for yourself, buy an extra can for the pantry. There are drop-off locations in Clinton, like I said, and they're also listed on our website. We were blessed from Salvation Army last year during the tornado to be offered a food truck. We're really excited about that.
Wow.
We didn't open it in January because it was at an event, but we open it every food distribution, and we have a team that works on the food truck. They make charcuterie cups for our clients, for anyone that comes. They make egg sandwiches similar to another place that makes egg sandwiches with the golden arches. So we're experimenting. So if anyone I'm looking for ideas that you can cook on a food truck. If anybody has some ideas, I would love to hear them. You can email them to me at thecountrypantry@yahoo.com.
And that's ideas to cook to give away there?
Yes.
I like that. Very cool. See, I was going to think of my next point, but now you just got me going on ideas of cooking. I got a few of Mike's looking at me right now, Mary, and he's like, Steven, don't say it. That's what Mike's doing over there. He's like, don't say it. The billing we went over, the services. Last point I want to hit. I assume, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that you get an influx of help during holidays.
Yes.
An influx of donations and all of that.
Yes.
But it's all year round, right?
Yes.
So are there specific dips of times where, hey, we really need it because it's not Thanksgiving and it's not top of mind for people, or what are those timelines look like?
I thought we were going to have our typical dip this month in January, but actually it's stayed very steady. We have an awesome community. They understand and they're giving. So we have summertime is a tough time. People are away on vacations, and donations are less at that time. So we're purchasing more because we still maintain the same number of families. So summertime is a time I'm always looking for people to think about doing a food drive. One thing I forgot to mention, and anyone listening that needs help, we have referrals to SNAP, which is food stamps, the food stamp program. So people can come to us and we can put them in touch with a specific person who can help them write
Go through the process.
Go through the process. Also with Fidelis Care, we have someone that comes and is out with us and will meet with individuals in their cars who need help with health care. So and we do referrals for seniors for apartments as well. So we try to hit more than just food when we can.
Last question, and if you hit on this, I apologize. In the conversation of how we can help, I assume people can write you a check.
Yes.
Monetary donations.
Yes.
Is there easier ways to do that? I mean, what's the best way?
There's a donation tab on our website, thecountrypantry.org, where people can donate online, or a check can be sent to our P.O. Box, which is the Country Pantry, P.O. Box 76, Clinton, New York. And our accountant will get the check and you'll hear from us.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, very grateful.
Well, Mary, I can tell you, I'm very grateful for you. I think we as the community are blessed to have you do what you do, and the volunteers. Like I said, this was super cool for me because I remember, and I think Mrs. Taft is the one who brought me in
Yes.
in the Suburban.
She's
and we
good.
opened up the back door and the hockey boys jumped out.
Yep.
And that's my last experience. So this has been cool to
Wonderful.
have that conversation. And I think just
Yes.
the community is so blessed to have someone like you coordinating it and doing everything that you do. So thank you for being you, and thank you for the impact that you're making in the community. I urge everybody to rewind that. I know we'll put everything in the show notes of how to get involved, but just thank you very much for the opportunity, and thanks for taking your time to join us today.
Thank you very much.
Everybody, that's another episode of the Make an Impact podcast. Until next time, go out there, lead with purpose, and make an impact in someone's life today, even if that's your own. My name's Stephen Turnbull. We'll see you next week. Take care.